Hello?
Yes, good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning.
Now, I've been getting a lot of requests for part 2 of the Maimahu project.
Oh, yes, the Maimahu project. Yes. Oh, yes, I'm getting on it. I'm going to do the part 2 right away. Let me get on it right now. Okay.
All right, thank you. Can't wait to see it.
Hello guys, and we are finally here. We're finally back in Maimahu. I definitely feel like my outfit is better suited for this environment. You can see it is a proper farmhouse. It's been a while since I've been able to come to this site and give you guys a walkthrough, so I'm super excited for you guys to get to see the progress that we've done. So with that said, let's go inside and just start this quick tour showing you all the things we've done since the last time we were here. Let's go. Right off the bat, I want to mention that I have done a tour of this property, so if you want to catch up and just see where the journey began, just go back to our channel on YouTube, find Evan Interiors, and watch all those other videos so that you have a better and fuller understanding of what we've done so far. This is going to be a very brief run through, but if you've been watching, you will notice all the huge changes we've made. So let's go and look at what we've done so far. As always, we're starting right from the entry, but the best place to really see, like get a glimpse of how far we've gone is by looking at the perimeter wall. We have so much detail on this perimeter wall now. When I was here last, it wasn't this detailed, but you can see the vision coming to life, which is what I love about not being able to come to site every day, because I also get surprised, and I hope you guys also enjoy getting surprised and seeing all the things that we've implemented into the design since the last time you saw it. I did mention that we are going to be planting a lot of greenery. This is because my Mahio is quite a dry area. I don't know if you can tell. I am currently standing in heaps of dust because this place is so dry. So we want to transform this compound completely and make it green. So that's the purpose of including all the greenery that's going to go all the way down along that wall. And then this dust, I've explained before, we don't want this to be here because it is such a nuisance. Like, you cannot keep your shoes clean. I can't wait till we lay down the cabro that is going to be in this entire area all the way down. I've mentioned what this structure is before. Now, if you don't know what that is, this is another place where I'm going to urge you, go watch the previous video. I fully explain what we're intending to do there, but you might notice that there's still another structure there, and that is because this compound is still in use. In other projects, you know, we have our clients move out, go to a different place, but since this is their actual home and we were building a new home for them, they're still using the compound. So there's certain structures that we're going to keep in place until we have created a replacement for them, and then we can take them down. So this entire area is going to be cabro. There's going to be so much greenery. It's going to be gorgeous and beautiful and all the wonderful things. So now we can look at the main feature of this compound that we have. We're near complete. It's almost complete. So we can go and actually take a full tour of the house. So let's go inside and see what that looks like. So the purpose of actually building this home is so that everybody is able to be so comfortable. So this house should really serve a lot of people and create more spaces for people to be able to come together. I'm talking so much about the exterior. Let's look at the interior and really walk through those rooms one more time to see what they look like now that all the walls are up. We've walked right into the living room, very well lit, and obviously we don't have the windows yet, but once those are up, there's still going to be a lot of light in this room. You can see we've designated several areas with large openings so that there's enough light flowing in, but most importantly, this is supposed to be a social area for a big family. It's a huge living room. It's very spacious. There's going to be enough space for all the seating that they could want to put in here. But most importantly, it is social, as I said. So we have also included, you know, another small outside area right outside the living room. This is not the access area. This is a window. The access area is actually right over here. You have a small veranda. You could have a couple of more seats there for that indoor-outdoor experience. So everyone is feeling included in everything that's going on in the compound, which was a main goal for us. So quick tour, just a reminder for anyone who hasn't seen this before, I can just give you a quick tour of the layout of the house, and then we can talk more about what's the next phase. When will people be actually able to enjoy this house? So let's do a very quick tour through the bedrooms. To my left is the master bedroom. You can really feel a sense of privacy as soon as you walk into this corridor, because once you get to the end of it, you're greeted by all this light, all this air, all this space. It is a very spacious master bedroom. We did want to build a home that was strictly for relaxation, and this compound has two houses and it's going to have two structures at the end of it. We're not going to get rid of the other one. So when we were creating this, we're like, we want them to feel like they're walking into a new space where everybody's going to be comfortable. So when we were deciding the size of the rooms, that's what we were thinking of. We were not thinking of doing this super grand, extraordinary, out of this world thing. We wanted something that felt very cozy, so that anyone who's in here really feels at home, and I think we've knocked that out of the park as usual. You know, if you're going to construct a house from the foundation, you better do it right. You better have your measurements down to a T, and that's what we've done. We've created rooms that are very spacious, and you'll be able to see that as I go through all the other rooms. Another thing that I do want to point out, and I've talked about this before, is the importance of creating light and ventilation. So again, in this room, you can see all the open windows that we've put in just to make sure that that theme is going throughout the entire house. This master bedroom has another awesome feature. We have the ensuite and walk-in in the same sections. So we have created a space that is big enough to fit in all those beautiful amenities that you'd want in here. Think of your shower cabinets, your sink, your toilet bowl, all those fancy things, and of course, storage. I did say this is going to serve two purposes, so that was why we wanted to create a room that will not feel like it's too crowded. So we will have all those features on one side and then create a lot of storage in here so that the space that we've created in there does still feel very roomy, although I could say there is room for storage there in there as well, which is fantastic. That just means that they're going to have so much storage. Think of this house, that house, there's not going to be any point where they're feeling like we did not create something that they're going to be using long term. And again, let me point you up to the window. I love this design. For some reason, this rectangular design for the bathroom just is really eye-catching, and the level of it, amazing. Just love this room completely. So let's go to the other room, and we've done just as good a job in those ones too. The design of this house is very linear, so you can tell the movement from one room to another is very easy. So here we have this large space that we were able to designate to the common bathroom. I've mentioned that there's places in houses that are neglected, and common bathrooms or powder rooms, excuse me, are some of the places that do get neglected. But since we were the ones designing this from scratch, we were like, no, we need to have enough space to create a powder room that really felt like it was its own space and wasn't something that was an afterthought. So let's go to the next room. And so this is the next room after the powder room, and our goal, as I said, making everyone comfortable. And what better way to do that than making sure everybody has their own bathroom in their rooms. So this particular room, you can see the size. We made sure that the sizes were not too outrageous, but was very, very spacious. You can imagine we're going to have cabinetry in here. We're going to have big beds. You're not going to design a house like this and have small beds in here. So we're going to have the big beds, we're going to have the cabinetry, and it is spacious enough where I feel like, yeah, if you want a 6x6 in here, go for it. 5x6, for whatever your pleases your heart, the client will be able to put into this room. And again, large open windows, light, ventilation as always. So you might be thinking, where's the bathroom? Cynthia, you're saying the bathroom, but it's it's right out here. When you walk in, it's the first thing that you see. So whoever is going to be using this room has that bathroom right there where they can go in, take a shower, and do all the other business that they want in the privacy of that small entryway that you've seen there. So the next rooms have a very interesting design. I talked about it before, but it wasn't finished. But now we get to see what it looks like now that they're finished. And I'm super excited to talk about that. So let's go. So the thing that I'm super excited about the two bedrooms that are right next to each other is the bathroom. We actually extended the bathroom to the outside just so everyone gets to have an ensuite, which is fantastic. That sense of privacy is easily neglected, and you're like, just have one bathroom where everybody can use, but really, who wants to be in line? As I said, this is a very big family, so no one really wants to be in line like, okay, we'll have to wait for auntie to finish and then we'll go in, and then you wait for your sister or your cousin. So having your own bathroom gives you that privacy so that when everybody leaves the room, it's just meeting in the living room and enjoying. So we made sure that we were able to extend, but not only that, we made sure it was spacious enough, had enough ventilation, had enough light, and I can't wait to see all the tiles in. You know we always do amazing work when it comes to tile selection, so I can't wait to see the type of tiles we put in there. I can't wait to see the fixtures that we put in there, because we never skimp on anything. If you're going to be doing a project, you better put your all into it, and that's what I genuinely feel Fine Urban does better than anybody else. We really do put our all into every single aspect of every single project that we work on. So let's head back to the living room, and I can tell you about what the next phase of this project is. So what's the next phase for this house? Obviously, it's not complete, and some of you might be like, you guys have taken such a long time to do this particular project, but that is also because we are taking into consideration that there are people who are still living in this compound. They're currently using the house that was here before we built this one, so we want to be able to, complete one area and then shift people over so we can go over to the other side, and that's why things are kind of taking longer than usual. And this is also like a project that is supposed to be like a gift to the family, to the parents. So we really are going to take our time to make sure that we're doing things very well. But also, as I said, we have to consider that there's people who are still using this compound, so we cannot overcrowd and just have everybody coming here, because we all have to remember we still live in a COVID world, so you really do have to think about things like that. The next phase is actually tiles and completing the gypsum. We have started out on the gypsum, but it's not complete, so we are going to, sit down and look at all the designs, have that done, pick out each and every single tile that's going to go on the floors of each room, the walls of every bathroom, and then after that we are going to work on finishing off the paint. And of course, it's not a fine urban interiors project unless there's beautiful light work, so we are going to be doing a lot of beautiful light fixtures all around the house. And in about, like 2 weeks, this house will be complete and people will be ready to move in, so we can actually move on to the next house. Because guys, did you guys think we were just gonna leave this house like this? No, we're going to actually change the other house as well and just modify it so they kind of feel like they're in tandem. We cannot leave that in the state that it's in, so that is the next thing that we're going to be working on. So I said that we're not just touching one aspect, we're touching a lot of aspects. Another thing that we've included in this compound, obviously the location where it's at, there's a lot of things that have to do with water, whether it's feeding the animals or doing laundry. So we need to create places where they can have water tanks that are, in areas that are not inconvenient for everybody. So we have done something that you would commonly see in Nairobi, but in this area it's not something that you'd see a lot. So we have built a water tank area, but of course we like when spaces are multifunctional. We never just want to, okay, we'll take this plot of land and put a tank there and then this plot of land and do that just to fill up your space. We want spaces to be multifunctional, so this is where the water tank is actually going to be. Up there you can see there's a lot of space in there. You can imagine the amount of water that will be stored in the tanks that will be able to fit up there, so that this compound would always have access to water. So down here, these spaces are also going to be very functional. Laundry rooms. Duh, it's going to be laundry rooms, and it's the perfect location. Like right beneath the water tank area, we've created rooms. Why not have an area where you could come outside the house, bring all your dirty laundry so it doesn't have to be stuffed in there. Again, large family, a lot of people. So having an area away from the main houses where you could come in and do your laundry is actually ideal. And I feel like everybody would love to have that, because we all know how overwhelming laundry can get when you have a number of people in the house. You always try and designate one area in the house and put your laundry there, but somehow things end up all over the place. So having a place right outside where you can bring everything and just deal with all that without it being an eyesore in your main houses is just a fantastic idea. So what we've done here is we've taken a piece of land and we've created something that is going to be very useful for the entire family, and that is always the goal. I'm super proud and I'm super happy that I get to see when Fine Urban comes up with things like these. So as we go ahead, there's more innovative things that we've done for this compound, just to save up on space so that we can create that green feeling that I was talking about. We want there to be a lot of natural elements here. You can imagine grass and shrubbery, a bit of flowers. We have all these trees, so we do want to retain that element, and that's why we're very careful in how we're using the space. So let's go and look what we're doing right over there. So this is another area that I have touched on. I'll always remind you guys that there's areas that I've already talked about, and I want you guys to really be on this journey with me, and that's why I insist on go back, watch those videos, because honestly, the experience is so different when you get to see where we started versus where we are now. Because right now, honestly, this just looks like a weird concrete structure. You don't know if it was here before or if we built it, but we did. We have built this area. So this section is going to be a gazebo. We're going to deck it out with everything fancy. You know how we like to do our gazebos. If you do follow the channel, you've seen a couple of the gazebos that we've done, and we're not going to do anything less for this, but obviously it's going to be something that feels, you know, has that farmhouse feel and that natural feel, but of course with modern elements. That is always a point to give, you know, a property more value. You want to add things that you can see going for the long term. So adding something that has modern touches really works towards that. The way we're going to do that is by having glass and aluminum all around, not only because it's modern, it'll add that modern feel, but also because if we're going to have all those natural elements all around, you want to be able to enjoy them. And also, if someone's sitting out on the veranda and you want to be using the gazebo, you guys can communicate. You know, it's not solid walls where you feel isolated, very open. And then now we have this other section here. You might be wondering, what is this? Well, what's the point of this? If you have the gazebo there, what are we? So right beneath me is a septic tank. Obviously, that is a necessity. It is very important, but that doesn't mean that it needs to waste any of the space within the compound. So we thought, let's have it somewhere very hidden, very secure, but also a place that we can beautify where no one could ever guess. If I didn't tell you guys there was a septic tank down here, by the time we're done with this project, you absolutely would not believe me. So this area is actually going to also have a function. We are going to transform this into more of like an outdoor dining area for those days where you're having a family gathering or you're just in the mood to have a different experience and the night is just beautiful. You want to come sit outside. You have a dining table where you could come with your entire family, sit down and enjoy a very nice meal out in your beautiful compound. Guys, keep your eyes on this project because I know it's taken us a while, but it's not going to be a while longer that you'll get to see the complete transformation of this space. Let's move on to the other sections that we've transformed. Sometimes I feel like I don't do these projects justice when I'm talking about them because I feel like I'm just breezing through everything and it might give the impression that things are just so easy to do. But just because we're really good at what we do doesn't mean that, you know, there's not like nitty-gritty details that we really need to go into that, you know, sometimes might pose a challenge that you guys might not even realize. I've just breezed through majority of this property, talking about, oh, water tank here, septic tank there, a whole new house right there. And I forget to mention all the things that come with including things like that. I've said we built a whole new house. So what things do you think come with building such a structure? You have to think about water, you have to think about electricity. So those are major factors that are going to play into this entire compound. If we want that beautiful light work, let's say even in the gazebo, because obviously we're not going to leave that dock, that means we do have to think about how the electrics of this entire compound are going to be. Also the plumbing, which is a major thing. And I think if you've lived in Kenya long enough, you know plumbing can tend to be quite a headache. So when we're doing things from scratch, we really look into those things. I just wanted to point that out because it's something that you might not realize that we really take care to do and do properly, so we don't have to keep coming back here for repairs. Anyway, so we're right here and right next to the old house, we have this structure right over here. I mentioned why we were doing this. It's an extension of the house just to give the people inside more room, and also because If you haven't noticed, the other house that we've built has no kitchen because it's supposed to be strictly about relaxing. You're supposed to go there when you're not thinking about things like cooking. So we wanted to make sure that the kitchen that was in this house was going to be able to accommodate all types of cooking. Big family, big meals. So we have to make sure they have a big kitchen, enough space to be able to prepare those meals, because otherwise imagine inviting everybody over, they're having fun, everyone's hungry, but then you have a very small kitchen. Now you can't even prepare these large meals where everybody gets to enjoy. So that's the purpose of this extension. But as I've said, we do want to complete that house, move everybody out so we can really get our hands on this one and also elevate it. And right next to that we have the servants' quarters. So this, when you last saw it, again, it was just, you know, short walls. And this is another place where we have to look at plumbing and electrical work. And once this is complete, guys, of course, I'll give you guys a tour. And I hope you're super, super excited to stay on this journey with me. But we are not done yet. It's a large compound. I've talked about a lot, but there's still more. So let's go to the back of the house and just see what's going on over there. To leave the main compound, and I'll come to this section, which might be, you know, a bit throwing you a bit off kilter at the moment because you're like, what is this and why are there so many pieces around you? But this is because this is a farmhouse, and you don't just call a farmhouse because you feel like it, but because it has certain features that make it a farmhouse. So we are in the countryside and they have cattle. They have crops, so they need places that they can actually keep their cattle day to day. We weren't going to transport the cattle somewhere else, so we needed to create an area that was temporary for where the animals could stay, and that's where we're standing right now. But you can see we've worked on the perimeter wall just a bit. We haven't completed it. This is another part that you'll be able to see the progression of. I know right now it looks very flimsy, but hey, the cows and the donkeys have to have somewhere to stay, and this is where they're staying at the moment. But keep your eye out because this will also be transformed. The next section, let's go and complete this tour and just look at what's there because we've done so much. So the perimeter of this entire compound, like what you can see behind me, it goes all around, but then we do also have another wall here that is sectioning off, you know, the section that has the cattle, so that everything is not kind of just interacting with each other, just to create a bit more privacy for that area. So this entire wall goes up. That has also been sectioned into two, and the next section that we're going to look at is what we're going to designate as like the truck area. From what I hear, the client has like lorries, and there's a business that they do, so there's a garage that we wanted to create an area where they could just store that and, you know, do any repairs that they need, any washing that they need. So we're going to go take a brief look because, again, I have talked about all these things in a previous video. I really urge you, please go over to our channel, look at those videos so that you really get a better understanding. I promise you that one was interesting. We had plans and everything. I was going through it and talking you guys through every single thing. So if you want a better understanding of every single piece of this project, go back and watch that video. Let's go take a sneak peek at the garage. Now that we have come to the end of this lovely tour, honestly, I do not think that words can fully express what it's like being able to come on site after every few weeks and seeing the progress that is made. It's mind-blowing, and I try to translate that as best I can to you guys so that you guys are each with us on each and every step. You can see the work that we do and the things that we think about, the things that we put into consideration. and you know, just the speed at which we're able to work. If there's any challenges, we always let you guys know, and I love that you guys follow us on this journey. Now, if there's any newbies, this is the part where I encourage you to subscribe to our channel. And if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, why haven't you subscribed? Please do subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Fine Urban Interiors, but also make sure you share, like, and comment and all that good stuff. But don't forget to turn on your notification bell, because that is the only way you'll know every single time that we post a new video. So if you never want to miss a video, make sure that you know, turn on your notifications. But that's not the only place you can find Fine Urban Interiors. If you've been following us long enough, you know we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and if you didn't know, now you know, all at Fine Urban Interiors. My name is Cynthia Shaya from Fine Urban Interiors, and I'll catch you on the next one.